Hello. Today we're going to be working through a couple keyboarding examples. So keyboarding is really important in your Excel skills to be able to work quickly and efficiently through models. So this is going to walk you through some of the fundamental keystrokes of how to move quickly and efficiently through Excel models. All right, what you can see from looking at the screen is we're going to start out with 4 different tabs. Exercises 1, 2, 3, and 4. So as soon as I hit the start button up here, it'll actually reduce down to 1 tab. And as you go through each exercise, it's going to progressively reveal the next tab. We're going to talk about how to move between those without using the mouse. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and press start to time yourself. And it says get to it. So we can hit enter to dismiss that message box. And it starts us out in cell 1. All right. To get from 1 all the way over to 2, you can hit the right arrow a bunch of times. Alternatively, you can hold down the control key and then the right arrow, and that jumps you all the way from 1 to 2. Holding down control down arrow jumps me to the 3. Similarly, I can jump over to the 4, now around to the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, back to the 1. All right? Now, that was all continuous cells, right? There was something in between all the cells. Now I can also use control to quickly jump from the 1 up to the 9. So holding control jumps me to the 9. Now to get to the 10, I can't just do one keystroke. Instead, control is going to take me to the next cell to the right. Control right arrow takes me to the last cell to the right. And then finally, control right arrow one more time takes me to the 10. And notice when the 10 happened, all of a sudden we have keyboard exercise 2 that popped up. Now how do we get there? Here, another shortcut we want to use is control page down. All right, so control page down takes me to my second exercise. Here I'm doing very similar activities. I'm using control with arrows to move around. So control down arrow 1, right arrow 2, up arrow 3, left arrow 4, up arrow again to get to the finish. Now to get to exercise 2, I'd like to do it without using the mouse and without actually clicking a bunch of different arrows around. All right, so to do that, I can use F5. F5 brings up the go-to reference. I can type in T11 where it tells me to go, and it pops me right over there. Now I can do the same thing as before with control with my arrow keys. Just scroll around and get to the finish. Getting to the finish opens up keyboard exercise 3. Here on our third example, what we're going to do is select big areas of cells. All right, if you want to do formatting or apply the same formula to a lot of cells, you have to select more than one cell at a time. To do that, we have to hold down the shift key. So as before, you could use shift and then just arrow around to select everything. Alternatively, we can combine shift and control together. So control shift, right arrow, down arrow, selects the entire area. All right, hitting enter to dismiss the message box. Now I can do the same thing, just doing an opposite order. So I'll do control shift down arrow, then right arrow. Again, I've selected everything. Okay. All right, now for exercise 3 and 4, we're going to start out by selecting the entire area. Once you do that, notice that the far right column says now deselect me. So here, if we keep holding control and shift, we select everything. Or we select back to the first column rather. So instead, we want to let go of the control key. Just holding the shift key, we can push the left arrow button once. Now I've selected just the cells I want. Now, one less use of control gets us to exercise 5, which opens up exercise 4. All right, our last exercise here is going to be to try to sum numbers very quickly. All right, so if you have a big set of data like we see here, you might want to add all that up by both rows and columns. So one way to do that, use control to get to the end, and you can type sum, and then go select all of your cells. All right, that's going to take a little bit longer. We can actually use the auto sum feature, which is Alt and the equals key. That simply selects everything. We can sum it, hit enter. And again, we can use our basic control copy, control C, and then we can hold shift down and down arrow a bunch, and then we can paste it. Alternatively, we could use a few shortcuts. All right, we can use control shift end that selects to the bottom of the row. Notice we have to go back up by just 1 by holding shift with the up arrow. And now we've selected that whole row of data. Again, control shift N selects all of that for us in one shot. And then control D fills that same cell at the top all the way down. So control D fills down that column of data. Now, if we want to go do the same thing for the columns, we get over there and we can again do Alt equals. Excel knows that you want to sum what's above it. And here we hit enter. Control Shift End now goes all the way to the right. Control R then fills everything all the way up to the right. All right. Once we've done that, we just need to hit enter or hit an arrow key, and we've reached the end. In this case, I finished in 274 seconds. All right, you can do it much more quickly than this, and I'll just give you one quick example. All right, going back to the start, we can hit start again and just try it again. So this time I'll go as fast as I can. All right, we say get to it. Okay. So now we're just scrolling through very quickly. F5 to T11. Once you practice this a lot, you'll get a lot quicker with these keystrokes. And that's the idea of these exercises, is keep doing them until you're comfortable and you can go very quickly, just like this. Whoops. And now we have a 36-second time. All right, so that's a good target for you. Try to get quick as you can. Practice this again and again until it becomes second nature.